YouTube! What's good, bro? I'm about to react to the end of Jake Paul, bro. Everybody's been praying on his downfall for a while. Bro. This is a Jamari video. I have never seen his content before, but you know, we're going to jump straight into it. You feel me?
So it has been close to a decade since Jake Paul started gaining popularity online alongside his brother Logan. And no matter how you feel about this guy, whether you are his biggest hater or biggest fan, you have to at the very least acknowledge the longevity of his career.
Personally,
because in this internet space,
Jake
you have
Paul,
people
bro.
come and go every single year, every single month, every single week. It is insanely hard to stay relevant online because there are constantly newer, younger personalities emerging hungry and gunning for your spot. And on top of that, the trends are always shifting, and what might be the most popular content style online, along with the algorithm, is always being altered. For Jake, it all really started when he was posting videos on a platform called Vine, which was basically the original TikTok.
Snow. I like snow. Bruised.
Oh, ew.
Bro, I remember hearing about them on Vine. I never watched their content.
This is where he and Logan discovered they had a knack for going viral.
I remember
and from here, they would never really look back.
There was
Soon
like
Jake
a
would
small niche of like 15 to 20 different Vine content creators that were really popping on that app, bro. And I remember hearing about them. I never watched them, but I remember hearing about them.
Find himself starring in a Disney Channel show along
Y'all
with
don't
Olivia
care about
Rodrigo
that, though.
called Bizaardvark.
Heyo, I'm Jake Paul from Bizaardvark, and you're watching Disney Channel. Oh, no looker. First ever.
Bro, I always want to do that.
Nailed it.
And to be honest, their acting was already pretty on par with what you would expect out of most children's television programs.
Dirk and Kirk, do you have a sister named Smirk?
Who do you work for? Sorry, Kirk, but thanks to Paige, I'm not doing dangerous dares anymore. Only safe ones.
What have you done to dare me, bro?
Being on this show would give Jake yet another boost in popularity, but it would also put him in this box where his audience was essentially all children, with most young adults not taking him or his outlandish content seriously at all. He and his brother knew this, but they didn't care because they were making fat stacks of cash, so they played right into the character.
Logan, if you go in, I'll give you your money back.
It's literally disgusting.
Hurry up, Logan.
The cops are coming. I think that's what he's saying. It's really nasty in there.
My brother is savage.
The Google Career Certificate Program.
That was wild, bro. That was some wild ones.
I've always been interested.
The thing Jake did was the definition of hyperbole and downright overreaction. In short, he was loud, disrespectful, and annoying to anyone over the age of 12 years old.
And also, they have these free segways here.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, you can just drive it. Are you calling the police? Yeah. My name is Jeff. Run!
Now from here, Jake's ego would swell like an overinflated balloon destined to pop. He became rich and famous, and quickly he would rise to become one of the most popular, yet polarizing figures on YouTube.
If you're new here, I want to make sure you guys are smiling. I want to make sure you're working hard. I want to make sure you're dabbing on them haters. And the Jake Paul has hit 10 milli. But I remember one day I was like, I'm gonna vlog and be the best vlogger there is. And then the next day, I got a camera and started vlogging. And then 324 days later, I broke a record.
And at this time, he was also involved in several shady business ventures he was promoting to his audience.
So basically, there's this thing on the internet called mystery boxes. You buy them, you don't know what's gonna be in them. They come to your house, you open it up, and it's a mystery! You could get a pile of shit, or you could get a Rolls Royce.
Which obviously a lot of people had a problem with. So he was constantly
remember those
beefing
mystery
with
boxes,
people like
bro.
Rice Gum, H3H3, and even his own
know
brother.
Fredo
It
used
is
to
not
do
an
them.
understatement
Heavy.
to suggest that people online hated
boy
him and his
Fredo.
brother Logan. And after the Japan incident, they both had a serious stain on their reputation, despite Jake not even being involved in that whole situation.
He went out to Japan
before
and
Logan
filmed
went to
some dead
Japan,
people, bro.
I
That's
had a
wild.
severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
Jake will
Like,
announce
let's not
his Teen
forget
10
that.
house, where he
Not
and 9
forget
other influencers would all live in one of these content houses that had become quite popular at the time.
Wow, I never
always
thought
gotta
I
move
would
on,
say
but
this,
like,
but
still.
welcome home, Jake Paulers. We made it, Mom! We flippin' made it!
To me, this is when Jake would kind of reach his tipping point of being out of control. He was making millions of dollars every single month, and so he felt like he could do anything in the name of creating content. It was like he had no regard for the feelings of anyone else, and was going to do literally whatever he wanted to do. This led many people into thinking that he was a
that would be fire to
sociopath.
do, though.
Disney Channel star Jake Paul is accused of making
I'm
life
not gonna
miserable.
lie. I'll probably do that stuff, but times two.
The next thing you knew, he
I had,
would
like, all the
seriously
money,
be at
all
war
the,
with his
like,
brother
resources to
Logan.
do all
His
that,
Team
bro.
10 house would
Yeah, I'll be
absolutely
going
fail
crazy.
with a lot of the members creating a
I'll
negative
do- I'll
buzz
blame him.
around his name, and he would start releasing some very questionable music.
It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.
I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
Soon his personal life would
A
become very
2-pack of
dark and
ass.
lonely from the outside looking in. He had surrounded himself with yes men who were only interested in gaining clout, and it seemed like no one was really listening to his cries for help.
I'm in 4 lawsuits, and it consumes my life. What is Jake Paul right now? And like, where is this path? And like, I don't know what to do with my life.
And if you guys out there want to be listening in the highest quality, you have to check out the
What the
sponsor
fuck,
of today's
bro?
video,
What you-
Raycon.
bro?
When Raycon found the option for
Hell,
the same
hey,
great
what
audio
the
quality
fuck?
podcast or
This shit
audio
came
helps
out
me
of
this
nowhere.
mode, so time for listening to audio and making
mans
calls.
is it?
With gel tips for that perfect, very sweaty workout
Nobody
box
cares.
for just
Hell,
today,
hey.
what direction he wants. So nearing the end of
They got
2018,
the
it really seemed like Jake had no idea what direction he wanted to pivot in terms of making content. He was now overtly trying to steer away from this kid-friendly audience and persona, and it was not working.
He
Aren't you
started bringing
normally
in
like a
porn stars. That's exactly what he did, bro.
Or stepdaughter.
That's
In short,
exactly
it all
what he
seemed
did.
way too forced. Like when a kid goes through puberty and tries to play the edgy badass talking back to his parents. You know, everyone needs that smack in the
I
face
think
sometimes to wake them up. His
around
music
this
career was
time-
pretty much an unsustainable joke, and
is when
overall
I
his
started watching
popularity was waning, with many of his former fans now aging out of his content. It would take a boxing match with
When he started, like,
KSI's younger
switching
brother
up his
Deji and a
content,
Shane Dawson
that's when I started
documentary
picking up
to
on
set his fate and put him on his new journey as a boxer. It was like it was perfect because he could make a lot of money, people wanted to see him lose, he could spend time outside of the
just watching that
spotlight, and he
video
was always
alone
kind of a wild
of
card,
him-
so fighting
him
wasn't
punching
too
the
far
punching
out of his
bag, bro.
elements. From here, he would do
he's
his
gained
thing
so
for the
much
next year
skills since then.
content-wise, but also keep training for his next influencer fight against Anisan Gibb in January of 2020, where he would show quite the chops by knocking him out in the very first rounds of the fight. And you have to keep in mind that Gibb was someone who had trained his entire
got
life in boxing.
big-ass
So when
nose,
Jake
bro.
beat him so easily, his
That nigga-
confidence for the
that boy's
sport
nose is
skyrocketed, and he realized he had some good power behind his punch. To me, this is when he decides to go full force into the boxing lifestyle and essentially give up any sort of YouTube gimmick that he still had going on.
There's a huge lane for celebrities or whatever you want to call us to make a lot of fucking noise. So I want to be the best actual technical skilled influencer boxer because I see how big this is becoming.
And in November of 2020, he would fight ex-NBA
technical
player
boxing
Nate
is
Robinson
hard to do,
and
bro.
absolutely
Like, you gotta-
flatline him with a
You
brutal
gotta
knockout.
really practice that stuff.
This is when the boxing community really started taking notice of
I
Jake
remember
Paul's
that. I know
abilities
y'all
for the
remember
good
that.
and the bad.
Nate
And Jake
Robinson
started
was
to
a
realize
meme.
he could make a lot of money doing this because there was an equal amount of, if not more, people who wanted to see him get knocked out as who wanted to see him
See, they
win.
be faking
And when you
that
have
stuff, I
that
feel like.
situation with a boxer, that is really a recipe for high pay-per-view sales. And the main criticism after this match would be that he needed to fight a real boxer and not someone with no experience who was essentially rushing him like a bull. So then he would set up a fight with retired UFC fighter Ben Askren, who was completely out of shape. He
That
would
boy
make
fat.
very short work of him as well, bouncing his head off the canvas only 2 minutes into the fight. Now after this match, all the detractors said that Ben basically took a dive and that he didn't train for 1 minute for this fight and that he was essentially there to collect a bag and move on with his life. He was also never known for his striking ability and only thrived in the UFC for so long because of his elite grappling. Jake would then search for his next opponent in the form of another retired UFC fighter, Tyron Woodley, who many considered a huge step up from the likes of Ben Askren or any retired basketball player.
Hey, when y'all fight
I
me,
see him like he got
When
a
y'all-
big booty like
Anybody watching?
That's the reason I wanted to fight him.
Send the contract, bro. Send the contract.
I wanted to grip them cheeks low-key when I
Send the
pushed
contract.
See?
Yes, Woodley was old and way past his fighting prime, but at least he was a UFC champion who was known for his elite striking abilities. Him and Woodley would take it all the way to the finish. And while Jake had a scary moment where the ropes seemed to quite literally save his career, he would eventually win by decision. So we would see here the first fight where he had to go the distance and show some real boxing prowess. A mere 4 months later, the two would run it back after Tommy Fury backed out at the last minute.
Like Tommy Fury, who's considered a professional boxer, gets sick.
Bro, Ben talking shit on Tommy Fury.
I fought sick, I fought hurt.
Lost.
You gotta go in there and get the job done.
He would accomplish his greatest boxing feat yet by knocking Woodley out cold. From here, his confidence would skyrocket into the stratosphere as he started calling out everyone from Nate Diaz to Conor McGregor and even Canelo.
Look at the year I just had. Unprecedented. One of the most valuable boxers in this sport. 4 fights, 4 massive pay-per-views in 13 months.
His name was on fire out here in these boxing streets. He was winning and making tens of millions of dollars every single time he fought, and also pouring gasoline on the fire that he, his brother, and KSI created when they started this whole influencer boxing genre. For his next fight, Jake would settle on a very old Anderson Silva, with him once again winning by the way of decision. And still, the main criticism against Jake was that he was only fighting people who weren't actually boxers and who were way outside of their prime. His answer to these claims would be to finally fight Tommy Fury in February of 2023, a fight that was supposed to occur for the last year, but kept getting delayed due to concerns from Fury's camp. With Tommy being 4 years younger and a bloodline professional boxer of one of the greatest of all time, this would be the true test for Jake Paul to see if he was actually ready to start fighting for real.
He's gonna get knocked out by a Disney star. That's same, plain and simple. That's it. End of story. You'll see, bro.
In the end, Jake would talk a big game, but eventually get outclassed in the ring, as Fury would work him for 8 rounds straight, taking the decision.
Alright, no, it wasn't 8 rounds straight. Don't be lying.
This is my destiny. This is my fate.
This left many onlookers wondering where Jake Paul would go from here.
This is definitely a humbling experience. I'll take it on the chin, get back in the gym, and we can run it back because I think we put on an amazing show for the fans tonight.
I just feel like until he actually gets knocked out in the ring, it's not really over. And I know boxing purists might hate him, but it is great entertainment, and he's given some legitimate boxers a great chance to be seen on his card. After the fight, he did continue his usual trolling antics, saying that he only lost because he had a wet dream the night before the fight.
Stored in your legs, and it has something to do with like the neurological connection of like you did exactly what you were put on this earth to do, so you become like relaxed, and oxytocin goes through your body. And
either way, it will be interesting
really
to see where he takes his career from here. I definitely think another match against Tommy Fury will be in the works. But y'all let me know what you guys think about Jake Paul and his boxing career. Do you think it will all come to an end very soon? Do you feel like me and think he actually has to get knocked out before this boxing thing is completely finished? As always, I do want to
Yo, let me know what you guys think in the comments, bro. Dude, do y'all think Jake's gonna bounce back and gonna win against Tommy? I know y'all seen, or I don't know if you've seen it or not, but Floyd ran up on him too, and they've been beefing lately too. So who's gonna fight first, Floyd or Tommy? I feel like at the end of the day, bro, Jake, from watching this video, I really believe he was just a kid who's seen a bad opportunity and has been faking it until he's been making it, bro. And it's been working so far because he got the whole world talking, bro. He got the whole world talking. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love y'all. Drop a like, comment, subscribe. All that, man. All that. I'm out.